What's up everybody, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Anyango, karibu sana. So guys, this segment, this is Tips Monday, and in this segment we talk about travel and I give you tips on how to travel and save money and have fun at the same time. So if this is your kind of content and you like this kind of information, guys, kindly smash that subscribe button down there and join this family. For the returning subscribers, thank you so much for the love and the support, and thank you for always watching, liking and sharing. So let's continue doing that, guys, so that this information can reach many others. Otherwise, guys, let's start this video and get the tips for today. Before we do that, guys, today we are going to talk about 6 tips on how to plan an appropriate trip with friends. When you're traveling with friends, it might be difficult or having group trips can be difficult sometimes. So here are 6 tips to help you plan your next group trip. So let's get the show on the road. So tip number 1, guys, is to talk honestly before agreeing on a trip together. There are conversations when you're traveling as a group you need to have as a group. Number 1 is the budget. Your budget may not be someone else's budget, so you need to sit down as a group and look at the finances. This is a very difficult part, especially for people who don't like sharing their financial positions. But when you're traveling with a group, guys, it's important to know each and every person's financial standings. You don't want to travel with people, then when you get there, you have to do everything for them. So make sure that everyone declares their financial status and if they are stable enough to make that trip. Number 2, guys, on that point, you need to discuss if that trip is necessary. If it might be necessary for you, but it might not be necessary for others. So at that point is when you're going to know, guys, who will come to the trip and who is not going to come to the trip if it's not necessary for them, or you're going to agree as a group whether you're going to make that trip or not. Another thing, guys, is the traveling styles among this point also. For the discussions you're going to have with the group, you have to find out everyone's traveling style in that group. Do not jump into conclusion and impose, guys, maybe luxury on people who don't like luxury travel. There are people who like simple kind of travel to explore, and there are people who love luxury type of travel. So you need to be considerate and consider each other in these discussions. So when you're discussing, guys, as a group, make sure that you discuss the budget, make sure that you discuss the travel styles, and make sure that you discuss whether the trip is important or not, okay? Very important, guys, so ensure you do that. So guys, now that you have agreed as a group and you have agreed that you are ready for this travel, you have looked at the budget and you have already discussed on the travel styles, the next thing to do, guys, is communicate constantly when planning that trip. You have to communicate with the group on every step and decision you make when planning that trip. When you're booking the hotel, you need to communicate and give people options. Maybe if you have a WhatsApp group or you're communicating on email, you need to keep the group updated on everything that you make or any decision that you make. So number 1 on that point is to ensure that you keep the group up to date on the hotel selections. Let everyone select and vote on a hotel they think they are comfortable. Everyone might not vote on that, but you will go with the majority. That's how you do for groups. So you vote for the hotel that people would like. They will look at the budget. Everyone will agree that budget is appropriate. If you're traveling with travel agents, ensure that the group has agreed on one travel agent all together. do not impose travel agents on your group members. Another thing, guys, is to ensure that you keep the group updated on all the activities that you're going to partake when you're traveling. You need to let the group know so that every individual in that group can pre-plan for those kind of activities. Maybe you're going for hiking during that trip, maybe you're going for swimming. If you don't update the group members on this, you'll find that you're arranging for activities and people are not prepared in terms of clothing and gadgets that they're going to need for this kind of activities. So communication is very important. Every step of the planning, ensure you keep the group up to date on what arrangements you're making, and ensure that everyone is on one page with those kind of preparations. So ensure, guys, to communicate constantly when you're planning for that trip. Okay? Yes. Tip number 3, guys. Before you even start tip number 1 and 2, guys, you have to choose a leader. You cannot start planning for anything without choosing a leader for the group. You have to choose one person who will be responsible for making the arrangement, booking on behalf of the group, and communicating with the group on everything that is being planned for that trip. So for this leader, you can always choose among yourselves who you think is comfortable, you're comfortable with, and this has to be done as a group, not individuals. So guys, to have a peaceful trip as friends and ensure you come back as friends, you have to vote on a leader mutually. Do not do it in a biased way, but do it in a mutual agreement as a group. So you can vote on this person based on this person is responsible and this person has good leadership skills and things like that. So ensure that when you're voting for one person, you vote for a very reliable person and someone who is going to plan a fun trip and ensure that the group is safe going to the trip and coming back. Sawa? So ensure to choose a responsible leader and do it mutually as a group. Tip number 4, guys, make up sleeping arrangements beforehand. Ensure you guys agree on how people are going to sleep when you get to your trip or your designated hotel or resort. Do not agree on the venue, guys. You might find a situation where people will disagree and the trip will start off on a bad note. So for the trip to start off on a good note and for people to be on the same page, guys, you need to work out everything before you leave for that trip, and that includes sleeping arrangements. So for example, if you're for people who are arranging like luxury trips and your friends can afford each hotel room for each of them, you don't need to make any sleeping arrangements because everyone will have their own hotel room. But if you're booking a resort and it's for many people and you're going to be sharing beds, you need to agree in forehand who is going to sleep with who and in which room and who is going to take which room, so that when you get there you can already just settle in and start the trip. And this also helps, guys, it also makes the work of the team leader easier to plan those trips, because if they are planning a resort and they have already found, let's say, a 6-bedroom house which is going to fit all of you people, then if you choose the sleeping arrangements, they can have the resort label the rooms in advance, so that when you get there and you're tired, you just go to your room without any much confusion and settle in and sleep and just start the trip on a positive vibe. So to be sure that people don't fight over rooms, ensure that people agree beforehand before leaving for the trip how they're going to sleep and who's sharing which bed with who. Okay? Very important, guys. Ensure you do that. Tip number 5, guys, avoid over planning. If you're the team leader and you're planning for this group, do not over plan and get excited and start planning for things people cannot afford. For example, you might be planning for a group trip and maybe considering the discussion on budget and so on, you might be excited and start planning for yacht rides and start planning for so many expensive things and activities in that group, not considering other people and not also considering the fact that every person has their own financial measure and not everyone can afford some things. So ensure that you're considerate and do not overplan. Have a structure as a group. Write down as a group the kind of activities you're going to partake when you're on that trip, and ensure you stick to that. Ensure the budget is presented to the group in time so that people can discuss the total amount, including the hotels. Estimate for people how much they'll need for the money forehand, and how much they'll need to dine outside if you're going to have dinner outside once in a while, so that everyone has planned properly and so that there's not a lot of confusion, especially financially. There's a lot of fracas when you travel with groups because people go as friends and come back disagreeing because of finances. So guys, stop over planning when you're planning for a group trip. Plan according to your means, and consider others so that whatever you're planning, everyone can afford and everyone can have fun while at it. Okay? Tip number 6, guys, is to download an app called Splitwise. Splitwise app, guys, helps you track money when you're on a friendcation. When friendcation is that group trip, yeah? So when you're on a group trip, there's this thing where you go out for dining and someone maybe has M-Pesa and you have cash. So someone will tell you, pay for this, then I'm going to send it to you. So if you don't keep track of that, guys, you'll end up losing a lot of money even as individuals, and you will end up just, you'll end up disagreeing on so many things and on very little things because of miscommunication. So to avoid these things, guys, ensure each member downloads an app called Splitwise so that they're able to keep track of their money. If someone is paying for someone else and they are expecting a refund, that app will always remind you that someone is owing you this much and is supposed to pay. So that by the time you're coming back, everyone has paid each other's debts within the group, and you avoid a lot of fracas and a lot of miscommunication and a lot of disagreements because of money issues. So guys, ensure to download apps that are going to help you keep track of your money while you are on that trip. Another thing, guys, keep off social media. I know when we travel for group trips, many of us travel. The whole point of traveling is to make memories, take photos, take videos, share with our friends on social media, and keep our fan base, updated on what we are doing and what we are up to. But also remember that there are people who are not into social media, and there are people who like their privacy and don't like their images or videos shared outside there. So why am I saying keep off social media? It means that, guys, you should not post things without asking your friends. This will make a lot of people disagree, especially in group vacations. So when you're taking videos, unless you're taking for your own, you're taking your individual video, that is fine, and your individual photo. But do not respect other people's privacy. That's what I'm trying to say. Do not take other people's videos and post it without their consent. If they consent to it, that's fine, you can do that. But also respect people's choices and respect people's privacy. So keep off social media when you're on group trips, and if you can't keep off social media, guys, respect other people's privacy so that you will go to that trip as friends and you will come back as friends. Okay, guys, this is very important, and ensure you watch out on that one. The last tip, guys, is to ensure that you're flexible. Being flexible means, guys, that you should be open-minded and be ready for anything, and just have a having fun mentality. Have in your mind the mentality of having fun, letting loose, and just be ready for anything, really. If you are someone who likes luxury travel, and maybe the whole group cannot afford that, and they have booked something simple, but as a group you'll still have fun, don't go there, guys, and start sulking and spoiling other people's mood in the trip. Be open-minded, be flexible, fit in with others, and just have fun with everyone, guys. If you don't like those kind of trips, guys, you can always opt out so that you can let others enjoy their trip, okay? And if you're someone, maybe they're booked for a high-end trip, and maybe you're umejikaza ukaenda hiyo trip, and maybe you don't have money, guys, and don't go there sulking. That's what I'm trying to say. Do not spoil other people's mood. Fit into that trip, have fun, and just ensure that there are positive vibes throughout the trip, so that you guys can have fun and you cannot have a wasted trip. Okay, so ensure to be flexible. Whatever choice people make during that trip, guys, you need to be flexible and just go with the flow. Okay, so very important, guys. So guys, these are the 7 tips. I think I've given you 8. These are 8 tips on how to travel as a group and how to plan a trip with groups, guys. Hope you like this video and hope this is going to help you plan a group trip, a staycation with your friends, or any other type of trip, vacation and stuff like that. If you like this kind of content, kindly subscribe down below, comment and let me know what you think about this video. And guys, I'm going to see you on the next one. Thank you for the love and the support, and until the next video, bye guys. Mwah.